While it might seem a bit unusual, in algebra, you might encounter a single number that has more than one negative sign. This is easier to understand if you remember that negative means the opposite. In order to simplify these, we're going to work from the inside out. Let's look at writing each number with the smallest number of negative signs. Okay, so I start with -9. Then I notice there's another negative sign out in front. Remember, I can think about that negative sign as meaning the opposite. So really what this question is asking is, what is the opposite of -9? This is like the last set of problems you did. So the opposite of -9 needs to be a positive number, and it needs to be the same distance from 0. So the opposite of -9 is +9. So in other words, negative 9 is just plain old 9. Let's look at this one. What is the opposite of -2? This is kind of like 3 negative signs because I have a negative here. I have a negative out in front. And then I have the word opposite. So let's deal with them from the inside out. So I just circled it in red, -2. We can think of that yellow negative sign to mean the opposite of -2. So looking just at that part in the red circle, what that actually means is the opposite of -2. Okay, the opposite of -2 is +2. So I'm going to take out that red circle and replace it. Now let's relook at our problem. So I'm going to rewrite the problem, just copy it down. It said, what is the opposite of? So I typed that down, what is the opposite of? And remember, we simplified down that red circle. And we decided that that red circle represented 2. So I replaced the red circle with the number 2. So really, my question says, what is the opposite of 2? We can do that. The opposite of 2 is -2. So going back up to the original question, what is the opposite of -2? Our answer is just -2.